Hey guys, today I gave the boats the ability to see color. And I also added different ripeness to the fruits to incentivize them to notice the color of the fruit and to focus on ripe fruit because it will give them more points. Currently, there are 5 colors: green, yellow, orange, red, and brown. As the colors progress, the amount of points that the boats get increases until it hits brown, where they get negative points to discourage them from eating rotten fruit. In the last video's simulation, the boats didn't worry about color, so the inputs that the boats received were the distance from the boat to the food that it was looking at. But now that they're looking at the color of the food, I don't want to give them the distance, and instead I want to give them the value of the color. What this means is there are 3 times as many inputs to the boats as before, so the training takes a lot longer. In this video, I decided to cut out all the boats that were defective, that just spin around in circles, and I just cut out about 80% of the training just because not much changes between each iteration, and I'm not going to talk for the whole video anyway, so it seems like a waste of time to upload all of that. Also, the scoring for each color is green is 1 point, yellow is 2, orange is 3, red is 4, and then brown is -1. So what this means is that sometimes you'll see the boats will prioritize eating an orange or red fruit even though it means that they're going to have to run into a brown fruit because it's worth it. They get a net positive. Also, sometimes you'll see they just completely avoid the green fruits because they only give them 1 point, and it might be more worth it to keep looking for an orange or a red. And I'm thinking they might also be hoping that in the future the fruit will change from green to yellow or yellow to orange, and they'll be able to pick that up instead. I've noticed that sometimes when they're approaching the lower value fruits, they're not as urgent, and I think it's because they're hoping that by the time they get there, it'll upgrade to a higher valued fruit. On the other hand, for orange and red fruits, I feel like they're trying to get there as fast as they can because they don't know if it's going to spoil or if another boat is going to reach it before them. So it's interesting to see the way that their behaviors have adapted. Speaking of their behaviors, in this video, I've restarted the whole simulation in their brains from scratch. And part of the reason is because the inputs give 3 times as many as before, I couldn't reuse the neural networks from last time, so I had to restart it from scratch. One of the reasons why I wanted to implement them being able to see colors is because I'm hoping eventually in the future I can have 2 different competing species, and maybe one is a herbivore and the other one's a carnivore, and the carnivores and the herbivores can use the colors to help them determine if what they're looking at is a fruit, another animal, maybe it's one of their kind, maybe it's a different kind, and then also that leaves the potential for them to be able to mutate what color they are. So if the carnivores want to blend in as fruit, or if the herbivores want to keep changing color so that the carnivores aren't able to keep up with where the herbivores are. So it'd be interesting to see some competition between 2 different species rather than inside a single species. I think there's also a lot of other things that can happen with this color, so I'm hoping if anyone has ideas, they can say something because I don't really know. I also want to change the simulation fundamentally. The way that it's a competition like this feels kind of unrealistic, and I think it would be interesting to maybe have a certain energy level that each boat has, and then whenever they get enough, they can maybe, split or something like that. That way there's not just a 2-minute competition where they just all die after 2 minutes or all have to quit. And it's just an ongoing simulation where they're competing and hoping that they don't run out of energy to die. So there's a lot of possibilities. If you have any ideas, please let me know.